Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition to our show, Real Estate Uncensored. You guys, I'm so excited to be back here again. Matt, in all of his infinite wisdom, has given me the controls of the show yet again, and we are going to rock the house today, you guys. We have Jeff Latham back on the show with us again. He was on the show a few months ago and just crushed it with some incredible content. We loved it so much, and we heard from you guys multiple times. You guys wanted Jeff back on the show. So guess what, you guys? We listen to you. That's right, Matt and I. Yes, we do listen to you. But you know what? First, I want to thank you for coming on. And I just want to tell you, you know what, Matt and I truly love all of you guys, and we are going to bring another killer episode. So, Jeff, welcome, man. Tell us how you are. Tell us where you are, where you're sitting right now, and show us your view, man. You just took my breath away with the view from your pad.
How are you, brother? I'm excited to be back on. Thank you for the opportunity to just jam with you and talk about some epic stuff here. Where I am, I'm broadcasting live from the Latham compound. We got the nice little sunset view back there, and
so Jeff,
good place to be. Good day.
Do you play tennis?
No.
You were talking about that off air, and he's got this beautiful tennis court you guys can see behind him right there. He's like, yeah, man, I got a tennis court. I just never play the damn thing. I'm like, well, she and I, then we're like, I'm like, what do you want to do with it? He's like, well, I'm going to turn it into a helipad. I'm like, all right, not a bad idea. That's the kind of the title of today's show, guys. We're going to talk about doing epic shit, raising your standards, stop being a bitch and sitting on the sidelines. You know, just stand up and fight for yourself and get where you want to be. You know, I did a live broadcast about this, Jeff. We're going to talk about some of those things there, but he and I think are wired up. So this is going to be an interesting show. But you guys, first I want to give a couple of shout outs really quickly. I want to give a shout out to Viral Marketing for helping to support the show and all of the goodness that they do. They support my all my stuff. I was just talking to my coach this morning. Reed and I were having a blast. We're coming up with some new ideas to shoot some more videos with them. So check them out if you guys want to do video. They are amazing. Also, I want to give a shout out to Gustavo, man. He was kind of an impromptu, like out of, emergency, McDaniel challenge yesterday. I had an opening. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but my next one's like, wait a minute, when is my next one? June 21st. So, Gustavo, great talking with you, man. I think you're amazing. You're going to do really well. Neely. She and I had a blast after we had our talk. She and her husband had a heart-to-heart, and I think there's going to be some amazing things coming down the pipe for her and her peoples. And then Doran was a rock star guest with us, guys, on Wednesday. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and watch it. It was probably one of the funniest episodes Matt and I have ever recorded. I had to put my A game on to keep up with those two. It was like ganging up against me, but it was a great show. And then on Wednesday, Jeremy, I got to call into Dubai, guys. Holy sheep shit. That was fun. I mean, it was loud as fuck over there, but it was awesome to be talking, to a guy. He's like, oh yeah, man, my students just took me out to go boating around Dubai. Who just says that? That was awesome. I mean, talk about living the next generation of stuff. McDaniel Challenge, guys. You're going to spend an hour with me. And you are going to, an hour or two, you're going to help work through a lot of that shit that might be stopping you, blocking you, or hindering you from getting to where you want to be. Call me. My next available date is June 21st, okay? So don't sit on the fence. Don't wait for anything. Just get up, start making it happen, and come over and hang out. Then you're going to get a hold of me on my handy-dandy iPhone, and you're going to call these numbers sequentially, 925-915-1978. And just to be clear, guys, this is 100% free. There is no cost involved. We had that mishap with Gustavo. He thought it was a charge, and no, it is free, guys. So make it happen. So, Jeff, we got through those shout outs quick enough, and I want to talk to you, brother. So you and I were going to talk about doing epic shit, changing our lives, getting off the fence, doing something that's going to be unique and different, right? Yep. So what are some things that you're seeing right now that you've been putting into action that have been changing your life, big or small? Because everybody has to start somewhere, right?
Sure. Yeah. Do we start with business or personal?
Business or pleasure, man. You choose anything.
I would say the biggest thing is competing for an Ironman.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we've been training for this Ironman, and I've become addicted to it, actually. Last night, I think I did about 3 hours worth of training, 30 miles on the bike, 4 mile run, and I just love it. And so I guess epic shit would be an Ironman. That's kind of a big deal. It's a 2.5-mile swim followed by a 116-mile bike ride, then followed by a 26-mile run. And so what that's caused me to get to exercise more, which is giving me more energy, which has allowed me to have more confidence, be more fit, and make more fucking money. So I would say that really the consequence of training for an Ironman has allowed me to elevate my business, my income, and freedom and everything.
Now, have you found that, when you're training for your Ironman, are you finding that it's helping you focus more on business as well, not just on your fitness and everything else? Are you finding yourself that you're able to concentrate on what you need to concentrate on because you have a goal in sight, that you have a hard stop on? There is no wiggle room. That race happens on a certain day. Is that helping you translate that into business as well?
Yeah. And, it's not like you can just show up Ironman day and not do the fucking work.
No. If you don't, you're just being a bitch.
Well, you're going to die.
Yeah, you really will die. I mean, that is no joke. I mean, Ironman is a hard ass race. So translate this into business for me. Let me walk me through your regimen of training. So like a new agent, if they were to correlate this into real estate, first off, so let's say an Ironman is the equivalent of a top producing agent, right? It takes a lot of work, takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of dedication. Where would you start in real estate? Again, this with the analogy with real estate, where did you start and where should you start in training, aka prospecting, networking, social media, all this stuff, and to ramp up to get to that Ironman status?
I start by running.
Okay.
And it sounds weird, but you get their ass in shape, and so I would definitely start by elevating your energy and exercising. And then that's just going to give you the confidence and the ability and the energy to go out and dominate. From there, if your agent started on the business, I started by doing open houses. And I just crushed it with open houses. I sat a bunch of them and met a lot of people and sold them homes.
That's the whole point of an open house, isn't it? You're not, only 3% of the time you're actually going to be, when you go on an open house, you're going to sell that actual house. You're there to pick up buyers. So what you're saying is that with the open house, it is a free, easy way to make a personal connection and interaction with another human being. God forbid, I know this is real estate, you're actually going to do something with another human. Yep. What's another free way that you would start out as a new agent? Would you sign up for Zillows or Trizillows, ads? No. Would you do social media? Huh?
Yeah, that's not free. Social media. Yeah, you just crank a couple posts through Facebook, and one thing we just run is we're training new agents on our team to determine home values, and we're looking for some properties to practice on.
Okay, that's
Put your
awesome.
address below and let me know if you're interested in a home valuation, and all of a sudden people just reach out to you. Yeah.
Say that one more time. I hope everybody heard exactly the verbiage that you just said, because that is an amazing idea that I am going to put into action immediately. So rephrase that on the ad that you would push out to Facebook.
And it's not even an ad. It's just on your Facebook wall. Training new agents on my team to determine home values, and we need some properties to practice on. Put your address below if you're interested in knowing what the value of your home is.
Wow.
And see, you're not marketing. Everybody's so numb to all this marketing bullshit. We're getting sold something every 10 seconds of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting people ahead. You're getting them upstream that may just be interested in their value or trying to help you, and you're going to get a lot of people. You're going to get probably 10 or 20 people reach out to you, but you'll have 2 or 3 that might private message you and say, you know what? I think I want to sell my home.
That is fantastic. Now, you don't want to hit these people every single day up on your Facebook. So would you do it once a month, once every 2 weeks? I mean, what would you do?
I would say at least 4 or 5 times a week, consistently putting some content out there about the homes you're showing, the homes you're selling, offering, home evaluations, or just asking people, how much would you sell if you can name your price, what would you sell your home for? Mm-hmm. Just start the conversation and the dialogue, and people will reach out. Not everybody's going to respond to the same message. And as far as over spamming people, I think 20% of your Facebook posts get read.
Yeah, because the algorithm and everything else, your interaction and everything.
Yeah. And I believe one challenge with Facebook is people worry too much about what people think about them.
Mm-hmm.
When you give a shit enough about people, then you're free.
We just lost your video, bud. Oh, there you are. Now you're back.
I'm back. I've got these people just calling me, so I'll delete them as they come in. So what I was saying is, when you give a shit enough about people to not care about what they think about you, then you're free.
Very true. It really, really is freeing. I made that same decision a while back when I just didn't give a flying fuck if people what people thought about what I wore. And, you know, I wear my custom dress shirts. And no, I'm not trying to be Don Juan the pimp today, guys, just to be clear on this. The button busted off as I got into my car. And no, I'm not because I'm fat, but just because the damn thing was loose. So sorry, the Don Juan look I'm rolling with today. But it's so true. Once you stop caring about everyone else's opinion and you just start being authentic to you, then people will start becoming attracted to you because they notice that you're different than everybody else. You're not conforming. You're not doing what everyone says. You're not listening to that dumbass Kim Kardashian, everything, that dribble that comes out of her mouth. I'm like, oh my God, I have to be like her. No, you don't, dude. Please don't fucking do that. That's absolutely horrible. You know what? If you were able to own who you truly are and who your personality is, you know, I wonder what that would look like. Have you ever thought and sat down, and Jeff, I'm going to pose this to you too, man. Have you ever thought and just sat down and wrote out the things that you really wanted to do? You know, the way you really wanted to dress, you know, the place you really wanted to live, you know, the industry you really wanted to be in. I did it. And it opened my eyes in multiple different ways to different things. And actually, when I did this, it was pre-podcast, and I absolutely wanted to be in front of a camera and a mic, and I didn't know how that was going to happen. But I talked to Matt and I decided to get together, and we built the podcast together because I wanted to inspire, educate, and entertain people so that they go out and live the lives that they want to live and not have to be trapped in a box. So, I mean, Jeff, I'm curious to you, man, what did you find out about yourself when you went and you did kind of that method, or did you do that method when you had your kind of aha moment and you're just like, fuck everybody else, I'm doing it for me?
One of my coaches, you know, gave me that feedback, and authenticity gives you clarity and it gives you power. You know, everybody lives this, we wear this damn mask, and when we're not ourselves, we're out of alignment. Mm-hmm. And when you are yourselves, I mean, you are a unique person. There's only one of you out of 7 billion people on this planet. Just be your true fucking self.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a stat I read the other day. The graphic image is going to put into all of your heads, and I apologize for this. When your parents were having sex, with everything in the world happening, at that very second, you are 1 in 400 billion to 1 odds of you ever being produced. And so for that, dude, you are truly unique, and you need to express that uniqueness in your day-to-day life, in your business, in how you interact with people. I mean, you need to go out there and just be authentic to you and stop conforming. I know, Jeff, you and I have talked about, you know, mindset, goals, dreams, you know, all of those in the past. And I wanted to see if we kind of wanted to go down that path again a little bit and see what's happened in your life since the last time we had an opportunity to talk.
Yeah, for sure. And just to kind of follow up what you're saying, with it's an absolute miracle that you are alive and you've made it this far. And so your very existence is a miracle, and you are enough. So quit being a pussy, right?
So true.
You won the great race. So the topic today, what we're going to talk about was doing epic shit. And I think really what it comes down to is thinking bigger. And a lot of people use this bullshit excuse, I don't need to make $1 million. And I just think it's an excuse for their inadequacy or their fear that they may not be able to fucking do it. Mm-hmm. You were put on this earth to do something fucking great. It's your God-given duty to achieve and grow. And the more money you make, the more people you're able to bless and contribute to. So you get to make your world bigger. And so why not? You know, like our latest thing is we're going to do $1 billion in volume, our real estate.
You're going to do I'm sorry. Did you say something with a B?
Yeah, a billion. And so
Nice.
thinking that way, it's at first it's kind of intimidating because, that's 3,000 transactions. Our average price point's about 310 grand.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's only 100 agents doing 30 transactions a year each. And so since you and I talked last, we brought on about 7 real estate agents, and people are just flowing into our world very rapidly. I think we got another 5 or 6 more going through immersion training this month, and we'll be up to 100 agents by the end of December.
Wow, dude, that's huge.
It's awesome. And it's just thinking different, right? Because $1 billion seems big, $1 billion in volume, yet 100 agents doing 30 transactions is absolutely doable.
Oh yeah, that's the cool part about it. You broke it down to the achievable level, because if you stayed at that billion mark, that's a big number, but it's not undoable. There's a lot of people doing it, and you're definitely going to achieve it because you've already seen it done. You're already building it, right?
Yeah. There's a few doing it, right? I don't know any teams that are. I'm sure they might be out there. If you would like to enlighten me, you can. I believe sometimes we set our standards on what other people have achieved, and that's kind of our benchmark. Well, why not crush them? I mean, you see some of these mega agents and they're doing 200 million, 250 million, 500 transactions, 600. Why not 3,000?
Yeah, why not?
The only difference between my team and somebody that's doing 1,200 units a year is they just have 20 more agents than I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so
very true.
That's really it. You go find 100 people, 5 a month or 10 a month, and help them achieve their goals of making a minimum of 6 figures a year. And then the business will get what it wants. And so $1 billion is 30 million in revenue, GCI, and you could definitely run a 50% profit margin there. So you'd be at like 15 million net.
That would not suck. I'm sorry. A little over $1 million a month. No, I'm good on that. But I want to talk to you about something. So there's my next tattoo, and all of you guys that don't know me, I'm covered in tats, and no one ever knows that because I keep them hidden. But I have my next one is going to be this exact phrase, and because what we're talking about today, it's perfect for this. And the first time I heard it blew me away. So this is what it is. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so others won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do, not just in some of us, but in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. And as we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. And when I heard that and I really, really sunk in, that's when I just said, fuck it, I'm just going for it. Because, look at the opportunities that have come my way, that are coming your way, because you're not conforming, you're just growing, and you're giving other people the light that they need in their lives and the encouragement they have in their to do what they want to do in life. You're paying it forward subconsciously while you're rewarding yourself at the exact same time. People are attracted to that stuff. And that's why you guys are going to make that, to make that $1 billion mark. That's just, what are your thoughts? What did you think about that saying?
I think that's going to be a painful tattoo, and I love the saying. That's going to be a long one. You're spot on. So the difference between a person, what the difference is between someone that makes 50 grand a year and $1 million?
Tell me. Mindset?
They just think different. That's it, right? And so all people get to do, if they want to have a better quality of life, if they want to contribute more, if they want to be, do, and have more, they just got to raise their fucking standards and stop being a pussy.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree with you more, man. I take a 25-minute drive to work, and I look at people. I spend my time in my car listening to audio stuff, like books on tape, podcasts, anything like educational, success magazines, CDs, stuff like that. Listening to really smart, successful people, gleaning off of them. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. All you have to do is hang out with the smartest people. But I look around, man, and I'm sure you do this too, and I get inspiration from people who are depressed. Now, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense when I say those words until I explain it a little bit to you. When I'm driving down the road and I see that person that's driving next to me in a beat ass, jalopy, that's dirty, that's overweight, that has just like that defeated look on their face, that fear of ever becoming that person scares me to the cellular level of my body. And it drives me with all my passion to work the insane hours, to do all my things I have my fingers in right now, because I never want to be that, because I run from fear. I don't go towards pleasure. That's how my mind works. And it's a daily inspiration for me. And I always think, what if that person made one different decision? What if that person got up one morning and they said, you know what, fuck this bullshit. I'm not going to work for this boss who's an ass. I'm going to go and do my thing. I'm going to chase my dreams. I'm going to sell everything, go move to the Bahamas, become a bartender. But, they don't do that. They stay in the rat race. They stay in that defeated mindset. They never branch out. And that is why the majority of the human race is going to die with a massive amount of regrets. And it is so saddening to think about that.
Yeah. And so how you change it is just by doing epic shit yourself, and people will change due to your influence. And that's what we're doing. My team members, they call me to ask me about lead generating or something to do with the business. By the end of the phone call, I got them committed to signing up to a half marathon or doing a fucking run or something. I'm not getting as many phone calls anymore from them, but
can't imagine why.
But I'm serious. People, we only perform, and I would say this is pretty low here, to 10% of our capacity. I bet you it's even lower. Most people, I don't even think I'm performing to 30% of my capacity. We are capable of doing so much more. And somehow we just do what everybody else does, and we perform, just like you're saying, to the level of the people we hang out with. I was at a Tony Robbins event, and he's talking about, I may butcher this, but that's okay. General Schwarzkopf had him come and speak to his troops, the Marines in Iraq or Kuwait or wherever they were. And Tony said, with all due respect, you're in charge of the Marines. They're the most powerful unit and force in the world. I don't think they need me. And he's like, no, I need you to speak to my men. And I know what you can do. And so Tony went and spoke to them, and he got them very elevated and just jacked up. And the general was like, Tony, thank you. That was amazing. And afterwards he said, I have one question for you. When my men leave the military, they gain weight, they get jobs flipping burgers, they get into the workforce, they get depressed. Why is that? And Tony said, people perform to the expectations of their peer group.
Yeah, exactly right. And he also says the fact that it says you get what you tolerate.
Yeah.
And I replay that in my mind. You get what you tolerate in all aspects of life. You're making $30,000. You're tolerating that. When Tony got, and you and I are both, inspirational freaks. So, I'm sure you and I can riff back and forth on this all day. Tony Robbins, when he got found out he was pregnant with his first child, he was making $35,000 a year, and he came from such a poor background. He said he would never raise a child if he couldn't support it. In 12 months, he went from making $35,000 to $1 million income in 12 months. So what the fuck is what's our excuse? Do we all need to go out there and get kids? Because that would scare the living shit out of me. You're pregnant. Fuck this. Barrel roll out the door.
I've got 2 of them. It's the greatest gift on the planet. I'll tell you what.
Oh, no, I jest. But, I think I told this story the other day. Yeah, I did. I was at a listing appointment, man, and I have a low gag reflex. I really do. I don't do well with vomit or crap or anything else. And
Me neither.
This baby was sitting on the mom's lap. All of a sudden, just huge amount of yak came out, and I'm like, it's leaking. I joke around about that, but actually, I want to go back really quickly to. We got a question from the Facebook group Lead Gen Scripts and Objections, and it kind of segued right into what you were talking about prospecting when people were calling you. We have a question from Renee Heyman. She's asking, with Facebook Live becoming more and more prevalent, what are people doing with it, and do you think it can be helpful for selling real estate? Now, I'm going to let you answer that. I have an answer for that, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Well, shit, Greg, I've been watching your videos, and it's been pretty causing me to think that it would be effective. You can do open houses. You can walk through, show your new listings. I think Facebook Live has a lot of juice, and you'll be seeing more of me on it.
Cool.
Maybe just doing like a daily sunset video, or something like that, with just talking about the shit that I'm learning and contributing back to people. But absolutely, Facebook Live is powerful. I think once you just get over yourself and you get used to looking into this damn little dot right here and don't give a shit about what people think about you, it'll be effective. I watch it when it pops up and my friends are in there. I plug in, I tune into it, I check it out.
Yeah,
I think it's a great tool.
Yeah, Zuckerberg was saying the other day that what they're ultimately going to do, and I'm watching Social Media Examiner's blab, which they had a lot of glitches on, but there's some crazy shit coming down. Ultimately, Facebook wants to go 100% live, everything live on Facebook, right? And I have found it to be incredibly, incredibly powerful to connect with folks. You just tell them to subscribe. Anyone who's listening to this right now, go friend me on Facebook. I'm running out of friends on that thing. So if you can't friend me when you ultimately watch this, whenever it's going to be down the road, I just subscribe to my channel. You get, clicked into all my YouTube, on my Facebook lives. But like you were saying, Jeff, I think that, and I have done this, I've walked through properties, I've interviewed other listing agents. I have, because I'm promoting the property because one, I want to show myself as an agent that's not running a big dog with cool homes, but also it doesn't hurt if you're going to promote a good agent that has a good property. You got to be in the giving mindset. You can't be in this like, it's all mine. So I interviewed a gal named Lauren Holloway. Great agent, hustles around here. And she was pumped. I've actually videotaped her boobs and I felt really bad about that, but I was just trying to hold the mic. I was holding the mic up and I couldn't, my iPhone is, I kept dipping down. I'm like, oh shit, boobs again. And she's cool. She had a laugh about it. So she's like, and Greg, you're videotaping my cleavage. I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry. So not intentional. But I think that you guys, if you're able to start using the Facebook Live, guys, like we were just talking about, Jeff was pointing right at that thing called a camera. It's just a teeny tiny dot. There's nothing else behind that thing. People want to see you. They like you. They want to be around you. Also, if you can create a library of information that you can then give to maybe a prospective buyer or prospective seller, help people walk through the transaction. Buyers and sellers really don't know what's going on. They don't know how to deal with stuff. You have to be that information for you. And back in 2013, 60% of all sellers went to a real estate agent's website to check them out. In 2014, 77% of them went to an agent's Facebook page to check them out. So if you have a library of data there, then you can really, kind of showcase this to the fact that you're actually way in front of your competition because you're not afraid to go on live camera and you have good intel to give people, right? Did you also know, dude, that there is, on Google Maps where you can, you plant yourself, in front of a house or whatever, and you can look up, down, all around and everything else. There's an app, hold on, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. You can go do this yourself at your own listings, and you can give them 360-degree views, just like on Google Maps. And it costs absolutely nothing. It's called Google Street View. And I went to a property of mine and did it in front of the house, in the main room, and in the backyard. Guys, that is cool stuff, man. That is cool stuff. That's taking it out to another level, like our whole conversation here today. It's doing epic shit, right? So yeah, be epic. Go out there and look for shit. Go educate yourself. Holy crap! Just
gotta do something, right?
Do something. I mean, my Lord. I mean, anything is better than absolutely nothing. And so I guess the first thing, like we said, you got to figure out what epic shit means to you. So you're doing an Ironman. What's something in business that you're stepping it up? You're going to do $1 billion in volume. Dude, yeah, that's epic. That is epic. So rounding that back to real estate agents here for a second. What do you teach a new agent that's coming through your immersion training? What kind of mindset do you give them or instill in them to chase down, epic shit, to chase down raising their standards? How do you get that fire lit in your own agents?
Boy, coming back to the lighthouse example is just being the example, right? Mm-hmm. I see these leaders, and you got to lead by example. You can't help eliminate in others what you tolerate in yourself. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to lead a team and have them follow you, leadership is nothing more than influence. And so when you go and push yourself and do stuff like the Ironman, or think a hell of a lot bigger, or you're growth minded, people will follow your footsteps. But if you're, a hard drinker, overweight, lazy motherfucker, and you're sitting there telling your team what to do, they're going to see that your lips aren't matching your feet, and your leadership is going to be very ineffective. Mm-hmm. So first and foremost, leadership is influence. So look at yourself, and if you are one, possibly, well, hopefully 10 steps ahead of your teammates as far as what you're doing, you always want to just stay ahead of them and inspire them to be, do, and have more. Second thing I do is I have them read. Miracle Morning is like a mandatory book that they read when they're on our team, and we get them dialed in personal development. And then we just do the immersion training. It's a 2.5 day training, and our leaders they get their shit dialed in as well. So we don't really tolerate motherfuckers.
So if you're a Cancer, you're getting cut out pretty damn quick, right?
Yeah.
Because you cannot have a bad apple in the bunch, because that will infect the rest of the team. And the Miracle Morning, you and I, well, why don't we share again? What's your morning routine? I'll share my morning routine, and we'll maybe, because people might not know what people need to be doing in the mornings to kind of get this thing moving properly.
Yeah. Well, for those of you that have not read the book Miracle Morning, go read it. Take an hour and a half. I think I read it the 9th time here 2 weeks ago. Just start the day out with prayer, meditation, visualization, affirmations, reading, journal, and then of course exercise. And then from there, we get everything. Then I'll just go and figure out what my one thing is that I'm going to knock out today that will make everything else easier and or unnecessary. I just read that book again.
When you say one thing, we're talking about one thing like go to that listing appointment, do that CMA, hire that new person, or for a new agent, go door knocking for the first time, return the phone calls, those types of things, right? Or do we need to think bigger?
Well, I think the one lever that you can pull that's going to yield you the biggest results. So yes, what you're saying, we get these to-do lists that are a mile long, right? And you're familiar with the Pareto principle, of course, the 80-20 rule. 20% of what you do is responsible for 80% of your results. Well, the extreme Pareto is, what's the 20% of the 20%? What is the one thing that I can do today that will make everything else easier and or unnecessary? Because if you look at your list and you just focus and you're like, that lever right there is going to be responsible and just pretty much knock out all this other shit, you could either delegate it or dump it, then you just do that every morning. You're going to see massive results. If you haven't read that book, The One Thing, I went round 3 on that one last week, and it's just a great book.
No, it's a great book. Yeah, I've read it. It is phenomenal. It's the one thing I love about it the most is you can have all this shit up here that you're doing. That's fine. But it better have everything to do with this one thing. It better have one goal in mind at the end of the day. Because if you got multiple goals, man, you're never going to get your shit done. And that's just like everything in life. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. And
yeah. There's a one thing for every area: faith, family, fitness, finance, fun, fulfillment, i.e. contribution. So, for example, to get to $1 billion in volume, my one thing would be hiring a bunch of fucking awesome people and helping them achieve their goals, right? Sometimes though, Greg, the one thing is thinking bigger.
I spend a lot of my time in your realm. I mean, you have a BHAG, I'm assuming, right? A big, hairy, audacious goal, which is the $1 billion.
Yeah, that thing's pretty aggressive.
Gee, you think? I'm never going to accuse you of underthinking things. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Yeah, I have so my BHAG for it stands for Big Hairy Audacious Goal. It's the thing that should make you a little bit nervous, which I'm pretty sure $1 billion was something that made you nervous, but you broke it down. It's not nerve-wracking anymore. Mine is to have. I wrote it in my shower with lipstick, so I read it every single morning when I'm getting ready, and it says Greg McDaniel's net worth. I learned that from Zillow, actually. Greg McDaniel's net worth is $650 million with more than $100 million in liquid cash at all times. How the fuck am I going to get to $650 million? No clue, but I'm going to do it.
You know why you're going to do it? Because your RAS is activated.
Yep.
And so sometimes the strategy is just thinking bigger like you did. And what's going to happen is your brain will start seeing the opportunities and connecting the dots. And you don't really ever see the path until you measure backwards and have been there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly right. I mean, as Steve Jobs said, you can never see the past connecting, your future, but you're connecting all in the dots in the back. You never see where you're going to be going. But for everyone who doesn't know what the RAS is, tell them what that is, because that is, and give them an example of what it looks like. Because once they understand that, they're like, oh, okay, I get it.
The reticular activator system. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if you wanted a new car, you got that BMW, right? That's what you wanted, was a white BMW. What the hell was it?
S550 Mercedes, man. Come on. Beamer.
Is white, right?
Yeah.
It's the one on your wall.
Yeah, exactly. It's right here.
So when you decided you wanted that, all of a sudden you've seen them everywhere. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe that car's not as unique, but let's say something that most people would have, like a Jeep Grand Cherokee, maybe a white one. At one time I wanted an SRT8. Glad I didn't buy it. I heard they're a piece of shits. But anyway.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I started seeing them everywhere. I was like, oh, there's one. And what happened is my RAS was activated, and so I started paying attention to it. And so we get so much stimuli thrown at us every day that if our brains were to focus on it, it would literally just kill us. We would die. And so the RAS keeps you alive, and it helps you to achieve whatever that goal is. First and foremost, living, and then secondary, your goals. And so that's what it's for. And it's a very effective tool.
It is an effective tool. I've actually played with it in several different ways. So if I wanted to see a red car, bam, red cars everywhere. If I wanted to see, buyers, different buyers, bam, that's all my mind would be set on. If I wanted to, I just hired Chuck, who's our ISA. The guy's a fucking rock star, dude. Boom, knuckles to you, player, if you're watching this. And Jeff gave you some knuckles too.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know what? I was looking for a way to spend more time doing what I love, and spending more time out with just clients and stop all the prospecting and find a way to leverage it. So my RAS was activated, and then all of a sudden I saw an opportunity. Chuck and I were talking. I offered him a position. He took it. He left his other position. He's with us full time, and it happened because I was there. It wasn't like this opportunity would have been there. It would have been there, but I wouldn't have been looking for it. Therefore, it would have passed me by. So if you guys are out there and you're like, oh, I don't have any buyers, that's because you're fucking looking for no buyers. God, start looking for them.
You put it so eloquently.
Yes, I am a master of the English art.
We're drowning in information and starving for wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said is just so wise. And what you focus on expands. And you can't think poverty and have abundance. You can't think illness and be fucking healthy. You can't think I don't have any buyers and not fucking have them. And it's really the most difficult thing about life is realizing how easy it is. And so, for example, you've seen my house. It's decent place, I fucking love it. It was on my screensaver, and it happened, right? Like a year later, after it's on my screensaver, it works that way.
Yeah.
Because I focused on it. Yet what started to happen was I noticed, I'm like, shit, I got 10 acres here. I got weeds, big fucking lawn to mow, needs paint, and I started focusing on that stuff. And what happened is I started to fall out of love with my house. And then I shifted my focus to what I love about it. I'm going to raise my beautiful girls here. It's private. I can shoot guns out there. I can land a helicopter there someday. And so then I fell back in love with my house. And so what happens with humans is just like a new car, a new relationship, a new house. When we focus on the things that we don't like about that person, place, or thing, we get more of it. Mm-hmm. And when we focus on the positive qualities of what we love about our house, our wives, our vehicles, then we see that, the greatness in it. And so going back to what you're saying is just focus on awesome shit and it happens.
It does. It truly does. Dude, we must be sharing part of a brain or something.
We're because cutting the same cloth.
Yes, because I was doing the same thing. Like I was falling out of love with my house because it just, I wasn't pleased with it anymore. And then I started focusing on the amazingly awesome things about it. And then I contacted my home stager, Timothy Quinlan. By the way, he just got engaged to his partner. So Timothy, if you ever watch that, congratulations to you guys. But he came over, he and Kati, his assistant. I mean, she's probably one of the smartest women I've ever met in my entire life. She's almost too smart. Like she's scary smart. And they're coming in and they're helping me re-fall in love with my house and helping me do something I've always wanted to do. And I was reading on my refrigerator this morning when I was eating breakfast. I have, yes, guys, imagine this, another yellow pad on my refrigerator door. And one of the things, my goals that I wanted to have up there was live in a house that feels like a home. And I'm going to be able to do that. Single guy. I mean, shit, I don't do anything for decorating, literally nothing. And because I wanted to live it, it's going to be coming into my life. I told a couple of you guys, so all of you guys can see this right now. This is a very rudimentary sketch idea that I did year and a half, 2 years ago about where I wanted to take this podcast. Dude, that thing's been in one of the Hobbit pads for is that long. I wrote it down and forgot about it. Dude, it's happening. It's happening in exactly the order I wrote it down. Just like you sitting at your house, things happen when you concentrate on them. So imagine if you could actually go out and put it into action today. What would change for you in 20, 30, 40 days or months or whatever else? When I was a couple of years ago, I have my dream book I carry around. I had this ridiculously hot body of this chick. I mean, like everything where it needs to be in ample proportions. It was awesome. I'm like, well, if I'm single, at least I'm going to go for it, right? Told the story several times. Dude, I'm not kidding, dude.
I love where this is going.
Dude, 3 weeks later, I get a call from a friend of mine that I hadn't talked to since like high school. She's like, "Hey, Greg." I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" She's like, "Are you still single?" I'm like, "Oh shit, here comes the fat friend thing." Yeah. And I was just like, "Yes, I mean." She's like, "I have a friend." I'm like, "I figure you're gonna say that. Send photos before you say anything else." Dude, she sent photos, and I went. She's drop dead gorgeous, blonde, blue eyes, great personality. She had the exact body I had been looking at. I'm not kidding you. It was ridiculous what comes to you. So, I mean, for an agent, let's talk about them here for a second. For them as a starting point or as a way to re-up the way that they think, what is a habit that helped you that we can pass on to them? Something small, something simple, something they can do every single morning or every single day, something that they can just start taking baby steps with, and then they'll start seeing those micro changes.
Hang around people that are playing at the level that they want to be at.
Nice.
I know you're looking for one thing, and I mean, I can just say go sit open houses, and that's really like how you get business rapidly. But go hang around people that are playing at the level that you want to play at. You'll get there quicker and think bigger.
You really will. I mean, I hung out with Terry and Chris when I was growing up in this business. They said the word escrow. I'm like, oh, what? What is an escrow? But that means going to different events. That's going to like Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Brian Buffini, going to these smaller, higher class, groups that are like there's a lot of them. I'm skipping my mind right now, but I mean, go hanging out with these people. Go ask to be a part of mentor groups. Go take a top producing agent out for lunch. Pick their brain. It doesn't even have to be in your city. It could be in another city somewhere.
Yeah, what I did. I started selling real estate when I was 22. and a year ago. It was like 13 years ago. And there was this guy named Doug Newman, and he was selling manufactured homes, and he was making $150,000 a year. And I would just go back there and sit back there and just watch him. And, you know, that was a lot of money at the time. And especially I was 22, you know, and he said, one day you'll make over 6 figures selling real estate. I was like, I just couldn't believe it.
You're like, really? You're like,
eventually the guy started working for me, you know, 5-6 years later. Yet what I'm saying is, that's what I did. Success leaves clues. Go surround yourself around those people that have the life, the fitness, the relationships, the hobbies, the faith, whatever the hell it is you want, that go hang out with them. And through osmosis, you will be like them and achieve those results, and you'll get there quicker.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, it is truly like that, because we like iron sharpens iron. You know, we've all heard that statement. It all kind of just goes in one ear and out the other, but it's really the truth, guys. It really is. I mean, you're not going to, if you want to be a top producer, don't go hang out with the guy who does a half a deal a year. Fuck him. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Just because
he's cool. Advice from him.
Oh God, no. If he says, well, this is what I do at open houses.
Fucking armchair quarterbacks. I just want to punch him in the face. That's not very nice.
No, it isn't. But that's hilarious, because that's what I want to do. You know, people are like, you know, how come you can give this info in this type of intel, Greg? It's like, because I've lived it. I've done it. Yeah. We're a very successful team. And we're just going to become more successful because, like you, I'm constantly chasing down the guys that are ahead of me. I got this one bitch. It's in mind. I'm coming for her, right? And she's a top producer. She punched my button one day, and I am gunning for her, and I'm putting a lot of my own money into this, you know, investing in different tools and tactics and people, because I want that spot. Because you know what, people deserve to work with good agents. So you should be the best you possibly can, achieve the most you possibly can, because then you can work with the most families you possibly can, and they don't have to work with a rude person who doesn't know their business person, you know, who's uneducated. And that's one of the other things that once you reach levels of success, don't be a dick, you know,
right.
Money's going to amplify who you are. So if you're kind of a challenge right now, start working on yourself, because people are going to look up to you. They're going to try to emulate you. They're going to try to, get in front of you. So if someone is hungry to learn and grow, take time to go out and hang out with them. Take time to give them a piece of knowledge. Don't be fearful of that they will come and take over your business, because that's fear-based mindset. That's not prosperity mindset. And if you do have it that way, you will get taken over.
It's a universal law, right? People that are in this business just for the money, they won't last long. It's contribution based. And when you come from contribution, you can help more people. It's one of the 6 human needs Tony Robbins talks about. And it's growth, contribution, love and connection, significance, certainty and uncertainty. And when you are focused on contribution and growth, everything else just happens in life, and it gets easier. And you just go out and add more value, just like you're doing with this video. You're contributing in such a massive scale, and then you're giving out your cell phone number, I'm assuming, for people to call you for free, right?
Yeah.
That is huge, and I just appreciate that about you, being able to do what you do and contribute at a high level. And you definitely caused me to think that it's time for me to level up my contribution. And the universe has no other option but to reward you in spades for what you're doing. And I know you're not doing it for that reason. It's just going to happen that way. It's a universal law.
Yeah, I just love what I do, and I love the people in this business, and I want to see them grow. I know it really pissed me off. I saw a really, really nice family. They worked with an agent here in the area, and they just got shit on. And I don't know if it was intentional by the agent or not intentional, but it really lit a fire in me. And I'm like, you know what? I've been so blessed, so blessed to have my father, who's a top agent in multiple different states, for 44 years. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's always been on the cutting edge. So therefore, I was always on the cutting edge of technology and beliefs and mindset and everything else. I had Chris, my business partner. I have Eileen. I have these amazing people around me. So I said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm gonna give back. because I want to see everybody succeed. I want to see you make the income that you want to make. I want to see you have, like, dude, I would do anything I can to help you, Jeff, achieve that $1 billion. If there's anything I could ever give to you to get there, and I'll be on the, right in front of you, giving you the big applause once you reach that level, because if we can all give back to each other and push each other in a positive, uplifting, and kind way, and be there to support each other, that's what it should be like. But in our industry, it's cutthroat. And so a lot of people hold everything close to their chest, right? I'm not going to give anything away. I'm not going to show you anything. But in my AIM class, my agents in motion. Yeah, AIM. Whew. I literally give them everything that I do, minus one thing. There's literally just the one thing that I will not tell people about. But I do everything else. I'm always updating. And it's like what you're saying. It's all about the giving mindset, growth, compassion, give until you can't give anymore. And if you guys are new agents watching this right now, what Jeff and I are talking about, maybe you don't know shit from Shinola about real estate, but but you know something. You have a trait, you have a skill, you have something that is uniquely about you. So give back in that way. I go off on this stuff. So I want to we got about 9 minutes left, but I want to talk about, here's something. Do you guys do goals? Because I love goals, and I want to talk about like 3, 6, 12-month goals. Maybe some, do you guys adhere to that? And if you do, what are some of your 3, 6, and 12-month goals, so that people have an idea what they should write down?
Yeah, I have a little book here. I write my goals down in it daily.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just like a little journal here, I met this gentleman on the Hudson River in New York about 2 years ago. I think his name's Com Mirza or something like that. And he was 37 years old. He had 27 companies, and he was worth $500 million.
Oh.
I was like, what's your secret? Because I'm always trying to hack people and figure it out. He says,
right.
I write my goals down every morning. I write them down in the car when I'm at a fucking stoplight. I write them down every minute I get. I write them down before I go to bed. I write them down before I have dinner. I write them down consistently. And so his focus is there, right? And so that would be one thing I get to level up on and be more aggressive than just one day a week, right? I would encourage people to write them down all the time. My goals, my current 2 big goals. One, I want to make $1 million net in 3 months by July 4th. That's my goal.
Nice.
And 2, the other goal is to complete the half Ironman in under 6 hours, or in 6 hours. I'm doing the half Ironman June 28th-ish, and then the full will be a month later. So those are my 2 big ones that I'm chopping away at. I've broken them down. I've done the 135 or 411 or all that bullshit, and the 12-week year, and tried to get all these tactics and plans to do it. And the simplest thing is just get your fucking target and figure out why you're doing it, and then just go for it, and it'll show up. Really, the target for goals is just believing that you can hit it.
Mm-hmm. Last time you were on the show, I remember this distinctly. And by the way, I use you in examples when I talk to other people, and I'm coaching and training and stuff as well, because we were talking about, the cars and everything else. And then you tell them what you told me about the Jeep and the analogy that you did. And then what you do on your phone every single hour.
The Jeep. Tell me about the Jeep.
You guys remember, didn't you say that you had a Jeep that you had wanted? Am I remembering that correctly? And then it's sitting in your driveway? Am I remembering correctly?
Oh, yeah, that fucker over there. Yeah, that's a nice Jeep. What did I do about that? Well, I post on Pinterest, and then just post photos of it coming soon, and look at photos of it every day. Oh, I use Pinterest as my visualization board. And sure enough, that thing, it showed up, right? Mm-hmm. Done that with my 5th wheel. I did that with my house. I just put it somewhere where it's in front of me, and then it shows up. What was the second question?
What did you do to make it happen? Because I'm looking up, because you inspired me to do this as well. If you guys can see this right now, after Jeff and I spoke, this is a very horrible version.
Yeah, it's on my screensaver.
Yeah, and you look at it every hour.
Yeah, it's on my screensaver. And I have reminders on my phone that peg me and remind me of my goals at least 3 times a day. No shit. I forgot about that because it's so consistent.
I thought that was
because we get so much shit thrown at us, we lose sight of our goals.
Yeah, you really do. I love goals. Matt would be up here fighting us on this, but I don't care. He's not here.
We'll call it outcomes, right?
Yeah, it is outcomes, and it all comes back to what you're willing. You're going to get what you're willing to tolerate. So if you want that brand new Jeep like Jeff did, dude, then you're going to tolerate. You're going to get it because you're ready to have it. But if you're going to keep driving that 1982 Honda Accord that's dirty with a spare tire on it, fuck you. That's what you're going to get. Don't wish you want something more. But the cool thing is, guys, is that if this is time, right, and this is going to be the distance, and you're going to achieve something, if you constantly tell your subconscious that you want something and you want it now, it will bend and your 2 points will touch and you will get where you want to be in an accelerated rate. So if you think Jeff and I are full of shit, I challenge you to try this for 6 months and then come back and you tell me what you achieved. But you got to review your goals every day. You have to be positive energy behind them, and you have to be authentic with what you really want. Don't say I want a 2,000-foot yacht. Well, you could probably get it, but let's start with a fucking ski boat first, okay? And so just go ahead and test it. Stay up with me. Stay up with Jeff. I mean, keep us in the loop. Let us know your successes, because you know what? I bet you anything, we're going to learn something from you too. That's how this whole thing goes. The whole universe just rotates around each other. So, Jeff, we got to wrap this thing up. I want you to tell everybody. First off, I've had a hell of a good time with you, my friend. I always loved kicking it with you. I cannot wait to see more of your Facebook lives, but tell everyone else where they can go and get some killer, inspirational stuff from you on Facebook, and then how to contact you for referrals, or just to pick your brain.
Boy, if they want to, just follow me on Facebook. Look me up, Jeff Latham, and just friend request me. I think I still have a couple thousand friends available, so I'm not like you yet.
Available.
You can reach out to me, shoot me an email, jeff@lathamre.com, and we'll get back to you. And yeah, I think that's just the best, though. Just hit me up through Facebook Messenger and plug me right there. I get 100 emails a day, and I don't look at many of them. And then one last thing is just believe that you can achieve anything you want. Think and grow rich. With the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So if you believe it, you'll achieve it.
I couldn't believe what you're saying is true more. I talked to a guy last night. I asked him if he had ever read that book, and he's like, no, I got about 10 pages into it and I didn't like it. I'm like, well, you're going to have a serious fucking problem coming down the pipe, man. I see a very short real estate career for you. But, so guys, hey, again, thanks for following us. Thanks for being here with us. We love hanging out and talking with you. I know that if you guys listen to what Jeff and I talked about today, go challenge yourself, go scare yourself a little bit, go get a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. It should make your, the hair on the back of your neck stand up, your palms start sweating, your backbone quiver a little bit, but challenge yourself to do more, to be better, to do epic shit, to expand your standards. Go to that area in your life that has been a troubling part of your existence, and just say, enough is enough. I'm not going to be afraid of this anymore. I'm going to move forward, and write down the 5 things that scare the shit out of you the most. Take the top 3 and go master them. Your life will radically shift for the positive. So, love you guys. Guys, remember, take the McDaniel challenge, please. The 21st, guys. Come on. You don't want to have to be talking to me in July. I mean, that's just rude to yourself. I mean, honestly. So give out here, like Jeff said, here's my private cell phone. Hold on, let me check. Oh, look, it does work. Call me on this number. It is a free phone call. Free. 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978, guys. It will be a free 1.5 to 2 hour call. Kick back. We have a beer or two, have some laughs, get to know each other, and we will walk out with a custom marketing plan for you, or work on mindset, or whatever is stopping you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I want to see you make every single cent that you want to make and have the lifestyle that you want to have. So, Jeff, any last words before we sign off, my friend?
No, brother, I just want to say I really appreciate you allowing me to come on this, and I just love the fact that you're coming from contribution, and keep it up, man. This is good stuff here.
I wouldn't have it any other way, my friend. So, you know what? I appreciate you coming on. We always love having you. I love the mindset conversations. We will have you back on to keep up on. We want to hear about that big race of yours. We'll get you on something like maybe August, September, and can follow up on that on the mindset. See where we are on our $1 billion quest. But until next time, guys, I love you. We will see you on the next run, and thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.